We are, of course, now about 5 weeks, almost maybe to the day, for the special election in Georgia, which is going to, frankly, implicate some of what we're talking about today with our guests, but also fundamentally a whole host of material issues for the American public. If the Democrats are able to pick up 2 seats in Georgia, uphill battle, no doubt, it's going to allow them to do things like pass additional stimulus through something like reconciliation. It is going to allow them to quickly approve of Joe Biden's cabinet picks. It's going to allow them to theoretically, at least quickly, approve his judicial picks. It is going to have a tremendous bearing on the functionality of our government. I don't think we're going to see, with a 50-50 tie and Kamala Harris breaking the votes, incredibly progressive legislation necessarily.
No.
But we will see some basic functions of government happen, like a stimulus bill, perhaps. We will talk about the stimulus bill that's going to be announced today, coming out of the Senate with a gang of 4, maybe 8, depending on how you count it. But that is a
progressive
bipartisan
champion, Joe Manchin involved.
Exactly.
But it's exactly going to be a lot of legislation like what we're seeing, middle of the road, centrist ideas. But the thing that Georgia could prevent is enabling the ungoverning, which is what the Republican Party has become and wants to do, which is dismantling government, doing away with government. Trump has been a wrecking ball to that. They used to like to do it in more behind the scenes ways. Trump's doing it front and center, but it's key to ensuring that the government at least functions smallly for people in this country.
Bare minimum.
Right.
However, it appears that Donald Trump is inhibiting the Republican efforts to win these 2 seats in Georgia. I still think it's a bit of a long shot, but it's certainly one that becomes a shorter shot every day with Donald Trump doing stuff like this. Here is Donald Trump tweeting out, attacking Brian Kemp. Yesterday, I heard, put this up on the screen. Yesterday, here it is. Do something, Brian Kemp. You allowed your state to be scammed. We must check signatures and count signed envelopes against ballots. Then call off election. It won't be needed. We all win. I'm not quite sure I understand any of this, but I guess what he's saying is that if Brian Kemp follows his prescription, then all the 2 Senate races will already have been resolved for the Republicans. But you see the problem here, because he is telling the Georgian people, and we played a clip from Ronna McDaniel yesterday, the GOP chair of the Republican National Party, where people in our audience were saying it's all fixed. Doesn't matter if we vote. So,
and also you're trying to make the case, or Trump is trying to make the case, that Brian Kemp isn't sufficiently on the Republican side in terms of voting and vote rigging, basically.
Right. And he
was an extremist back when he was running against
without a doubt,
Abrams, and continues to be.
But his argument is not just that he's not rigging the vote for Trump. He's arguing that he has rigged the vote for Joe Biden and the Democrats. And in which case, if you're a Republican voter, why would you go to the polls? What a waste.
Stay home. I mean, the governor is clearly in the pocket of George Soros, of Hugo Chavez, of the Babadook. All of these people are working with Brian Kemp and Joe Biden to ensure that Republicans never gain power again. Stay home, stay safe.
That's Trump's message. And here is Kayleigh McEnany, and she's on Fox and Friends this morning. Now, here's the tricky part. This is the sort of fun parlor game that people play. Is Kayleigh McEnany going on the show as the White House spokesperson, or is she going on as the campaign spokesperson? Well, we don't know what hat she's wearing until she gets there.
And Kayleigh McEnany, she's the White House press secretary. It looks like she's on the North Lawn. Kayleigh, good morning to you.
Great to join you.
Good to have you. Okay, so Griff was just talking about the situation down in Georgia where they've got the twin runoff races first week in January. And he brought up, the president is talking about how the election was rigged. And there are a number of Republicans who are worried that that kind of thing could backfire on that particular runoff election because they say, if it's rigged, if the 2020 November election was rigged and this one's rigged, why should I even bother voting?
Yeah, I'll leave it to the campaign to pontificate on the president's strategy with regard to...
Well, sometimes you're with the campaign, so you know the thinking there.
I do. I'm joining you in my official capacity today from the White House lawn, but I'll say this. The president has been unapologetic.
Pause it for one second.
Okay, pause it. I'm sorry. I got to get used to saying pause it. First of all, Trump does campaign events and did campaign events from the White House lawn regularly. So that does not preclude the capacity that she would be in. And really what it is she puts on the white hat. She's for the White House. If she puts on the red MAGA hat, she's a part of the campaign, and she'll switch them on and off on cable news based on the questions that she's facing and the ones she doesn't want to answer. So that was a way to deflect.
I have an alternate theory.
Go on.
I have an alternate theory. It is that on the White House lawn, if she is next to one of the hedges, she is with the campaign. If she is on the other side of the hedges, she is with the White House. And so that way she can do multiple hits.
Yeah, right.
She takes one step over here and she does that. And then she takes a step over here and she does that. Continue.
For the last 10 months in saying that mail-in voting, mass mail-in voting is subject to fraud. This has been a key part of what he's talked about when it comes to election integrity. He wants to make sure signatures are matched. Right. The mail-in voting is sacrosanct and is treated with the integrity that every American vote deserves, that it's actually encapsulating the vote of the American people.
Yeah, that was just a word salad at the end there. Right. She got thrown off by, which hat she was wearing. But I think this could be a problem for the Republicans in Georgia. And frankly, I would not have a big issue with that. You reap what you sow.